We will sing our first song on your prayer card, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and we will stand. And you can be seated. We will begin with our invocation. Thank you, Creator Source, for bringing us all together. As we come together, we open our hearts in gratitude for this space, for this opportunity, for friendship, and our connection to Spirit. And with this, we say thank you. And let's take a moment to breathe our gratitude in and out, because it's a lot to be here in spiritual community together. Blessed be. I want to do a few introductions to our basics. My name is Carolyn Sheets, and I'm the current president of the Board of Trustees, which leads our church, a wonderful group of people. And we are a church that has led ourselves through guest speakers for 25 years or so. And we used to be a church that had a pastor for over 50 years, and then before that, since 1913, we call ourselves, because we were given the name, a sturdy little church. And we are in renewal, capital R. And we are growing. And, my friends, we have a few more announcements to come, but we're first going to have our first hymn, which is good. 305. 305. keep standing. Find your prayer card again. We're going to read together our declaration of principles as you feel comfortable. Together, we believe God is the eternal source and creator of all and is present in everything. Our eternal soul, endowed with free will, grows through many lifetimes. Communication occurs between the physical and spiritual worlds. Prayer and meditation strengthen our connection to the divine. All healing comes from source. Seeking this for ourselves and compassion for others' suffering is the highest priority. Because we are all one, what we do unto others, we do unto ourselves. The choice of love is always open for every soul. Living these principles leads us to grow in divine love and a breath, still standing. Living these principles leads us to grow in divine love. Sliding your eyes down to our church affirmation. We'll read this together too, as you feel comfortable. We totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and direction of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. As our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all the members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership and people to our spiritual community, and we are grateful. You can be seated. And now, I want to announce that today we're mid-September, and next week is equinox. And we're going to have a couple special things as we honor this incredibly important day in the cosmos for us, for our planet. And one is that we're going to have a speaker, Robert McCumber, who has been here before many times and used to live here, is now in Colorado, and he brings these deep, astonishing messages on slides about creation and how we are becoming one humanity of the many. More individual in ourselves, more sovereign in ourselves than we have ever been, and also more connected. And that's our movement as a human race. Nature's been abiding with us all along, and we will have healing there too for all of us. So that's next week. In the evening, 5 o'clock, we're going to have what's become our regular solstice and equinox drumming meditation. For about an hour, people are going to come in. As they come in with their drums or not, we'll have a couple extra drums. We have one here we can use, and we'll also have plenty of rattles. So that's about 5 to 6. And then at 6, we have a potluck, and the church is providing the dessert from our freezer, which is bulging full of good things. And also we'll provide a chicken salad for people to have as part of their sandwiches if they wish, but the potluck can fill in the rest. It's not a heavy-duty feast, but it's a wonderful time to share some communion together at our tables. And then we go outside for our burning ceremony, where we were instructed by Spirit to begin the year with four full moons of burning with our intention to attract more like-minded people to our community. And it's happening, and we're grateful. And so we did do that on 4 full moons, not quite in a row because of a blizzard. However, we did, and now we always are going to be attaching it to our equinox and solstice commitment, And who knows, we may even start to have drumming once a month. We will see, because we used to. And we are now in a period of growth in our church as we reach out to the community more and more. So that said, that's coming up. And I want you to all know how welcome you are to bring friends and family, because we like having some of these group events that we can bring more people to who are connected to us. Even if that's the only time they come, it's great. We're here for whoever is ready and wants to be here at every given any time. Doesn't mean anything bad or good. Yes?
Is Dan Rogers coming also?
Dan Rogers was going to be coming and now has a medical issue. However, he will come back some other time, and we'll have it when he can speak to us too. Because it was interesting, we had abundance. Two wonderful people from the past returning on the same day to speak. But anyway, that's how that's working out. So we'll look forward to Dan at another time. We do have a copy of Dan's book, and we've been gradually circulating it, and it's available on Amazon, and it's astonishing about his communications with angels and the deep and long relationships that have been established now, and that they are really working very deeply. So that's an angel reality that he's bringing us in his book and when he speaks to us. Now, let's see. We had a quick, well, I'll keep these announcements sort of smooth here now, but we had a visit from ICCC, International Council of Community Churches, on Friday. And a group of us, a small group of us, stayed here for about 3 hours altogether, and maybe 2.5 altogether, and we talked. And their community is not only okay with us not being a strictly Christian church, because we're not. We are a church that honors the Christ consciousness and what every people want to worship as the God of their own understanding. And we were grateful to have him not only embrace the idea, but say it's probably where more of the community churches need to move as the future progresses. So that was a very affirming visit together. And we are grateful because we do need to be connected to some kind of organization that gives us credibility as a church for legal and insurance reasons. So that was a real blessing to us. And let's see now. Is there anything else that I ought to be adding right here besides talking about our speaker today?
Harvest dinner?
Say it again?
Harvest dinner?
Yes, that's coming up in October. What's the date, please, Steve?
We didn't completely.
Well, we're not sure, but be ready for a harvest dinner. Do you remember?
The 18th or the 19th. It depends if we're going to do a movie too.
Okay,
Movie
and
dinner.
so we're having a board meeting to plan that today.
Yeah.
But 18 or 19, Friday or Saturday, I look for it on your calendar, mark it off. It's number 2 of the 2 fundraisers that we have now begun to have to draw our community together more, and lots of friends and families came to the last one. We were full to the brim. We could not have put another chair in, I think, and when we did the Valentine one. And see, very short story. We used to have a book sale and a rummage sale every year. They were our main fundraisers. They both have changed as the culture has changed. People are now simply wanting to give their books away. We have our giveaway table downstairs, not collect too many more, and same with rummage. And so our 2 fundraisers, dinners, are what we are building our calendar around, along with the equinoxes and solstices. And we're building our church calendar. We have workshops after church at 12:15. Now that we are in fall, and we're, summer, we got to keep it really simple. And so that's the direction we're growing, is more programming and more ways that we publicize ourselves. And we are a church that I want to say our intention. I forgot to say that. our statement of intent does explain some of this. We are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. By using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where we can worship the God of our own understanding, a place to experience joy and be uplifted, a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we meet throughout the week. We invite all of us together to join in this celebration of life, to nourish our spirits and to enjoy the company of kindred souls. Amen to that.
Amen.
And now our speaker today is our monthly channel with our partners in spirit. Downstairs on the welcome table, you'll see the photograph of the Reverend Bill Hutchinson, who was our pastor for over 50 years. And now he, along with many or most of our past ancestors that are in spirit from this church, and from many of our own ancestors, gather for our services in the big cosmos. And once a month, Barbara With is our channel to bring their message through. And it's really awesome because Barbara is an astonishing presence. She came back to being regular in our church here, and because she first found us in the 1990s, late 1990s, and she's a channel. She had, with two other dear friends, channeled a book, the Psychic Sorority, and she has channeled a lot from Einstein, and that group has about a system of peace building that begins within called Conflict Revolution, and she spent the winter and fall and part of the spring, whatever, traveling in Europe, teaching this program, and also some throughout North America. And so she is commuting from Madeline Island when she's in the region to be on our board, a very vital, engaged member on our board, and a professional channel, a professional musician, an author of a number of books, including one mostly from and about Einstein. And we're grateful to have you, Barbara, with us again on this monthly September channel with our partners in spirit. Okay. Amen. Now we're going to turn to our prayer bowl. And our prayer bowl is active 24/7, folks. Truly. We can use our intention to place a prayer anytime and have it be broadcasting or emanating, I speak as a better word, I'm sure, emanating our prayers 24/7. And now I will also ask us if there are any people who have a prayer for person, place, or activity that they would like to have prayers for. And we're staying up here, so we're on the camera.
My sister's husband, Rich, had to go back in the hospital for some infection due to his recent surgery, and they weren't sure what kind of infection it was, so he had to stay there multiple days while they were trying to figure out what it was and how to treat it. So just some prayers for him that he gets better, because he's not a kind of person to just lie in bed. He's an outgoing guy. He loves to ride his bike and stuff like that, and he wants to get back out to doing that.
And his name is Rich. Okay, great. Thank you. Carol.
I just thought of somebody she's a special needs person, and she's had some major mental problems and became violent and all this, and she's in the hospital. She comes to the center where I work a couple times a week. She's the sweetest heart, and then there's been a switch in her brain. Prayers for her. Her name is Bria.
What's her name?
Bria, we call her.
Say it on the mic.
Bria,
Bria.
and that's what they call her. It's a short for
Thank
whatever.
you.
And so just prayers for her that her
Yes.
brain heals, where she can come back to us. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Thank you, Carol. Anybody else? Yes, Steve. Thank you.
I wanted to offer this prayer for world peace that the Get Wisdom Association released, and I thought it was really good. So here we go.
Talk a little louder.
Source Creator, each and every day, prevent or render harmless every intention, plan, energy, or action to trigger a global war or any war of significant size and danger to humanity. Protect all nations from manipulation, coercion, and propaganda leading to armed conflict with each other. Strengthen human defenses against propaganda used to induce fear, mistrust, hatred, and a misguided quest for domination or retaliation. Heal and free all leaders from mind control, manipulation, and corruption. Help humanity see through the deception and into the futility of war. Harness all negative energies and intentions used to promote hostilities. Transmute them from malevolent to benevolent, and utilize these energies for healing instead of harm for all victims and perpetrators alike. Strengthen us to feel the power and conviction to partner with you to demand and create a safe and peaceful world for all. Creator, repeat this prayer request as often as feasible. Invite all others wanting the highest and best outcome for humanity to join their prayers with ours to pool our requests for maximum momentum and effectiveness. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I would love if we could have a copy of that. We could bring it to our lunch tables. Anybody who wants a copy. World peace, humanity, guiding ourselves with love. I also want to put a few prayers into our community here and into our bowl for past people that have been part of our community. Julian Malone lives in Chicago now, welcomes prayers, welcomes connection to our community. J.D. Durwood passed recently, and we will be honoring him in our drumming. He loved to drum. He was a shaman, and that will be on this coming Sunday. But also our prayers now for him as he is in spirit, and we know there are a number of steps souls need to take as they arrive in spirit, and with all kinds of different stories and all kinds of different ways they learn about where they are and how to operate and how to be at peace more and more in the new world of theirs. And we also have prayers for Virginia, who we don't know where she is. And we want to send her prayers and goodwill and hope for her healing, whatever it is. Pardon? Oh, and Audrey Fisher. For prayers for her in spirit. Absolutely. She died very recently, passed over. Excellent, yes. And also, Harley Blake is a recent member of our community who's now in spirit. So there's a lot of transitions and a lot of joy and a lot of ways that we can support with our prayers. Okay. And then I want, as always, to bring forward Mother Earth. Mother Earth, Gaia, on this immense transition and our role as humanity within it. Nature's already doing overtime. But we ask for prayers for our own hearts to hold compassion, to hold love, to hold trust, to hold the vision of peace, love, and understanding throughout the whole world. And Gaia with us, and we with Gaia. Amen. We will have a few moments now of silence for prayer, and then Barbara will lead us. Thank you. Thank you. The song we'll have in just a moment now, 74. Yes, because then we will turn the service over to Barbara for our healing meditation and her channel. And so thank you. We will have in the silence on page 74 as we go into our prayer. Thank you for reminding me. Blessed be. Amen.
So let's turn our focus inward. Take a few deep breaths. Center yourself on the pew. And even with your focus turned inward, be aware of all of us here together. We're in this room. All of our bodies are radiating out our own frequency. And as you breathe in, get in touch with your body that's sitting in that pew, breathing in. And feel the connection between all of us. Feel the one being that we are here this morning, joined in love. And as you breathe deeply, imagine yourself descending into the center of this earth, going down through all the layers, all the strata. And as you get closer to the earth, it gets more liquid, hotter, molten, alive. But when you get into the center of the earth, into the source, feel the lack of separation. Feel that we are all superimposed upon each other. Each of us with our own sovereignty, with our own electromagnetic domain, our compilation of our own consciousness, miraculously surrounding all of the mathematics and everything that's going to make up the room, the pew, the music, and the separation. And in that oneness, as you take a breath, feel yourself breathing together. In and out, and in and out. As you keep breathing in the unity, feel the love. Feel the truth that we are all one. Notice that this deep into the earth, you don't hear your human brain. You are just the I am. The I am is compassion. The I am is love. The I am is unity. The the I am is God. And we are God. We are made up of this energy, the highest energy that there is. And the amount of energy it takes to go from this source back into the room, back into your body, separate from everyone, able to hear, able to see, able to sense, able to smell. The amount of energy that it takes to create this universe right here, right now, is more than your human mind can comprehend. So let's take a moment to breathe and be aware of both places. The oneness that you are with all of life, and the separate, sovereign person that you are, sitting in that chair, even doing nothing. You're a miracle. And in the same way that you feel all of us in the room together, but separate, in the source, feel all of us together. All of us. All of those who you love to have walked on. All of those lives you have been. All of humanity together. It's a party. And as you begin to put your focus back on your body, back on this room, back in your chair, take that unity with you into this physical world. That is the truth that you must live. And as you bring yourself back to your senses, we will command that only the most divine light shine down upon you at this time, and the greatest good be present here. This morning, we wanted to walk you into this sensation because all of you are going through an expansion right now. The expansion of your awareness. And it's happening when you don't expect it. It's happening while you're sleeping. It's happening while you're fighting. It's happening when you're sad or when you're happy. It doesn't matter what is going on in the details of your life. Your soul, your energy, your consciousness is expanding. And what that means is you're able to be aware of more things in life, of more aspects. You're able to wake up in certain situations that maybe you had blocked out. You're able to perceive things in ways that you have not been able to before. You're able to manifest both the good and the bad with more proficiency. And you're able to make the choice to be the truth every day. And we've gathered here this morning, as Carolyn had said, there's an ancestry that dwells here, and we tend to gravitate towards this energy after we leave our bodies. It's so easy to find. It's so easy to see the light that shines from this congregation. It is a light that we have resonated with when we had bodies. We were the ones shining out the light to those who were on the other side of the veil. And now, here we all are, and we say this with all of the joy in our hearts, and someday you will join us. And we don't mean that in any particular specific way, except in the general rule of life and death and life and death again, that we've all lived. So while we would like to say it's just a party of those of us who have lived here before, it's not. Once you open up a portal of love like this, you attract to you entities and spirits and souls of love, those who are actively seeking in afterlife to be a part of that movement. And it's true that all souls are not actively seeking that. And that's a deeper topic than we'll go into today. We want to focus on what you do, what you attract, and what you attract here to this church. And at least in the afterlife, there is a huge, huge attraction because of the love, and also because from the beginning, all those many years ago, when we started to gather and experiment in this kind of communication, when you establish it in your physical body, as well as the connection consciously to the other side and the afterlife, you create something of a wormhole, so that when you then leave your life and you go into afterlife, you have that memory, that muscle memory of the body that you had been, that connects you and keeps you connected in spirit. And what you do in your life connects to your spirit. And that's why we come back over and over and over again to learn to make free will choices in love. And that is how you become love, is you make a decision to make a choice anchored in love, working for the good of the whole, as you are all one body. Always will be, always have been, from now through eternity. And the more that you can embody that in your physical body while you're walking around, the more you are pulling in more and more love. And this is power. This is the power to manifest and to transform and to renovate and rejuvenate. You making this decision to love, that is the power. And love can come to you, and if you don't make the decision to receive and then to give, you'll close down your own pipeline. So while you're out and about this week in this beautiful world that you live in, this miraculous cascade of miracles, you don't see them often because your intellect is too involved with yesterday and tomorrow. But all you have to do is look up. Look up and see the miracle of the tree, the miracle of your daughter, the miracle of the water, the miracle of system upon system upon system that makes it capable to have this human experience, the original miracle just sitting in a chair. So as you embrace this, understand that you have within you the voice of God guiding you every step of the way. And your job here as human beings is to have that awareness that's being expanded right now, tuned in every day to what decisions are you making and choosing and intending love. This is the truth of who you are. And this is why you are here, to be truth. You didn't come here to have children. You didn't come here to buy a house. You didn't come here to build structures. You came here to be an expression of the truth. So know that sometimes you feel like you fall short in all those other areas. You haven't gotten a home. You haven't been able to build structures. All of that is not why you're here. You are here to live and articulate the truth. And the more that you align yourself to that, it's going to feel different. Those of you who are particularly prone to wanting to build structures or please people. But when you find yourself speaking the truth, which is love, love for yourself, honoring yourself, articulating yourself, no one else is going to do that for you. You must do it for yourself. And that voice of God that's built in, that intuition that's built into you, will guide you slowly but surely to manifest your greatest good. You've just got to get out of the way. You've got to get your minds and your thinking and your projection and your imagination and your worries and your frets and all the intellectualizing. You need to calm the fluctuations of your mind and train it to listen. Listen for the truth within you. It's always there. So as we all are gathered here, we would like to open for any questions and conversations you might like to have. If you have any personal concerns that you'd like us to address, or greater global concerns, or just to have conversation. We are here, and we love to talk.
I'm going to say, Spirit, we've never gotten that invitation from you before in this setting to just chat. But as I was sitting, absorbing your instructions to love and to truth, and knowing that I have been so full of details on pieces of paper written down, and just flooding my home with ideas. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm asking you, Spirit, to give us a little more guidance here. I thought, okay, how do I do that as this very mind person who is receiving information but is not calm enough to trust that I'm on it, okay? So I practiced melting inside, I'm still in a structure, but just softening. And could you lead us, Spirit, through some kind of small way to catch ourselves in the middle of a deadline, God, that's not the word I want, in the middle of a goal, to show up with something, how to let go in that time into love, into truth and love. That's a big order for us. So I'm going to step down and let you see what you say.
And that was indeed the big order of life you just described. You can apply it to your specific situation, surely, but it is the reason that all of you have come here. It's the reason why all of you have challenges, and you all have those challenges in your own way, is because you are evolving into a new creature, a new being, a new humanity who comes forward with all of that in place, rather than having to build it, having to restructure, having to be so aware and do all this work, which it is. It is work because the intellect, your thinking, very separate from your intuition, has the power to say no to intuition. And so when you get oversaturated in the intellectual energy, you block out the intuitive energy, and you aren't able to hear in those moments. And so, of course, the first suggestion is always reducing thinking, and that is the near impossible task, is to reduce thinking. Think about it. It's very, very difficult to stop thinking. So what we suggest is that as a way to unify yourself, and this is going to sound antithetical or counterintuitive, is that you first separate yourself. The first thing you do before you just be one big unified ball of energy that's working beyond your intellectual comprehension, really, is to separate out the intellect and the thinking and all of that as its own world. Put it in your head. It's just here. It's just in your thinking process. Then separate out your emotion from that thinking process, because emotion, coming up from your solar plexus, is what fuels the voice of God. And that's the paradox, is that when the emotion is anxiety, doubt, fear, any of those more difficult emotions to feel, when that's coming up, what it's doing is it's triggering the thoughts that reflect it. So you're in a process. You've got all of your notes and everything's all around, and you're fully intending that you're going to get this process done. And then intuition might say, have a cup of tea. And your intellect might say, no, I can't. I have all of these notes over here, and if I don't follow these notes. So how do you come to terms with that? First of all, to feel and breathe as much as you possibly can is going to bring you a louder voice of God. But what's going to distract is that ego. Yap, yap, yap. Wanting to take control, wanting to say no. Now, there are times, and all of you know this, where you have a project and you have a deadline and you have to get it done. And there are just times where you can't stop and have that tea. But how many times is that really? Truthfully. How many times in the course of a day, if you stopped and took your 5 minutes to quiet your mind and look and start again. And the second part is a very intentional awareness every single day. You're like an Olympian. This isn't just, well, sometimes I'll do this, and then sometimes I will practice 3 times a day. Every single minute of every single day, you are cultivating this witness of yourself, so that there's a part of you that steps outside of yourself and watches yourself. And this can be exhausting when you're not used to it. But little by little, when you begin to develop, cultivate this part of you that's saying, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I sensing? What's God telling me to do? Now, here's the trick. Then you have to do it. And that is training. Because intellect is going to tell you 6 or 7 reasons why you can't or why you won't, or maybe it won't even tell you. Maybe you'll just start thinking about tomorrow and thinking about the past. And now you're getting lost in the cacophony of what the intellect is meant to do, which is imagine the physical world. So those are ways that hopefully you inspire yourself every day by reminding yourself of your vision. What is your intention? What is your vision today? You're here to speak the truth. You're here to love yourself. You're here to witness yourself, commit to it, and then set about your day. And lastly, we would say there's this big challenge between understanding and execution. And figure out which one it is for you. There are certain things that you really don't understand that you need to understand. If you're going to fix a lawnmower, you need to understand how the lawnmower works. But then there's the execution. And if you're going to cut the grass, you need to know how to start the lawnmower and push it around. And you don't need to know how the lawnmower works to cut the grass. You need to know how to start it and push it around, but you don't have to study the schematic to figure out how everything fires up and works. You don't need to do that. Sometimes you do. And for what you're experiencing, you know that this challenge that you have with your senses being so wide open that you can understand. But execution is a different matter. And execution is sometimes not a spiritual pursuit, quote unquote. Yes, everything is spiritual. But execution is about, are you going to say yes to stopping thinking? Are you going to say yes to getting up early in the morning and getting those things done? Are you going to say no to the things that are going to distract you? And how are you going to develop the wisdom to know the difference? And this is the joy of life, we think, even though we've broken it down to a very specific situation. This is why you're all here, is to learn to be expressions of the truth, to embody what Christ came to show us that we embody. And if there's one last thing we would say, all of you, be so good to yourselves. You are all so hard on yourselves. Sometimes we surround this beautiful, sturdy church in spirit, and you'll find out when you get here how it works. We can't explain it, but we can tap into all the intellectual activity. We see it like it's this sort of shining light coming out of the top of your head, and all your thoughts are in there, swirling up sort of in a spiral up into nothing, back into the everything. And we think, if you knew what we knew, you would not worry so much. If you knew what we knew, you would take far more time to have that cup of tea. If you knew what we knew, you would know that every second is precious no matter how you judge it. So be the truth. We will close the channel at this time. We've gone on and on, we see, but thank you with great gratitude that we have, that we can come here and share with you and help still be a part, an active part of this sturdy little church.
Hello. Sorry for my English. I try to explain. I wanted to ask you, you were talking about to go to the center of the earth at the beginning in the meditation,
Yes.
and later to separate. Kind of, I understood that, but because I am a painter, I try to understand by the drawing. So what I understood through my life is that there is a spiral that goes down and also goes up. But also there is like a kind of lines in the circular expansion of what I wanted to ask you is the spiral goes down and we have to leave the spiral also go down or not? Or has to be the spiral in our imagination to up? You know what I mean? Something like, I don't know if...
Well, we think that the spiral comes out of the center and spirals up into the lens of this physical world where we're standing here. So we're not quite sure if there's a question with that.
It's a little bit of a question because sometimes what I feel is that the emotion, the truth emotion that you said that the main thing is to show the truth, and truth emotions comes a lot of the time for having experience in the down, you know? People that go to alcohol, go to the illness, go to dramas and suffering. And I see as a painter that a lot of artists go into the drama, but they express really good the truth. And sometimes I see people that has no the experience of this suffering, they, in the way they paint, is like something nice, but not the truth. I don't know if I can. I say that the spiral also goes down. This is my question. It has to be down also to understand the up. This is what, or the motor.
Yes, well, in the physical world, there's up and there's down. So there's both movements. In the operating system, it's a different structure than you're speaking of, but at this time, we probably don't have the capacity to go into a longer conversation.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, we've
Okay.
gone way over, and
Okay,
we're
thank you.
grateful for that.
Thank you.
But we will talk later. Yes. Oh, well, okay, we've gone way over, so thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much. It was a lot to re-listen to there, and thank you very much. And Carmen, thank you for your comments, and I'm sure more to come, more to come. And now, my friends, the offering. And then we'll have our benediction, and we'll have our big circle. And for those of you who wish to bring your prayer card to the song circle, please do. There's an easy way to just hook up a touch and still read your prayer card for the song, God Be With You Till We Meet Again. And Jerry, please come up for the prayer. And thank you, Sue. Boy, it takes a village. And what a wonderful thing that is. Okay, now, use this for you.
Okay.
And I've got mine, too.
Yes.
Oh, it's in my bag, I'll get it. Okay, please give us a prayer, Jerry.
And so we asked to the universal spirit that we are, that we still are connection to the universe of spirit that is fantastically waiting for us to come again. The spirit of the universe, the fantastic energy of light, compassion, love, peace, and joy. To feel that energy through every part of our body now. And as we breathe, we feel more. Another breath in, we feel more. Another breath. We feel the spirit that we are with everyone else that is here with us, forever and always. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Amen,
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 amen.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you all. Our time, our treasure, our talent, we bring to the church with our presence. And yes, come walking up as I read our benediction.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. It's probably a good way. As we go out into our week, may we breathe through our hearts, radiate through our hearts, and may we shine morning, noon, and night. Shine out to each other and live as one with our Creator. Amen, amen, amen.
Amen.
Thank you all.